All right. Well, I came on here. I just want to talk about something real quick. Well, I want to talk about a few things today, but I want to talk about this is what I want to talk about right now. I want to talk about the NBA and what's going on. Like I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is on something. Like I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is on the 4 point. They trying to. I'm gonna tell you what the NBA trying to do with the game. They trying the NBA they trying to add a 4 point play. I mean they trying to add a 4 pointer in the NBA. If some of you haven't heard, they trying to do that. And my opinions on that, with the NBA doing that 4 pointer thing, trying to add a 4 pointer to the game, not as to make a three and hit a and one as a 4 point. No, I'm talking about just a 4 pointer. What I think about that, honest to God, true, I don't want them to do that. The NBA, they already ruining the NBA by doing that. Like, look here. This how they doing it. The NBA, like, it's already going to sissified land as it is. It's getting soft, real quick. You got players flopping. You got players like LeBron flopping, Blake Griffin flopping, James Harden flopping. I mean, hell, you got players like that flopping all the time. Hell, Dwight Howard flops sometimes. You got players like that flopping, and they'll play the game like a man. And then you got NBA players. It's already hard enough for NBA players to take it to the rack and go inside and get some layups. You already see a lot of players shooting a bunch of 3 pointers like crazy. They shoot every shot they take as a 3 pointer. Like from Duke. I'm not even joking, like Duke players, a lot of Duke, believe it or not, Duke, they're basketball players, they shoot a lot of 3 point shots. And they don't really take it to the rack like that. But they efficient with it for the most part, but they do shoot a lot of threes. Or another example, like last week when Michigan went against was it Purdue? They went against Michigan State went against Purdue, and they made 17 threes out of 32 attempts. They shot the three 32 times, made 17 of the threes. In that game, they was on fire from the 3 point land that day, but the 3 pointer kind of taking the fun away from the game because they shoot a lot of threes. I mean, you have some of the best 3 point shooters in the NBA shooting threes like Ray Allen, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. Who else shoot threes well? Who else? Sometimes you got Kevin Love shooting threes good. Well, he's so with them. But you get what I'm trying to go with this. It's taken away from the game. You got some of the greatest 3 point shooters like Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, people like that. Brent Berry and Chris Mullin, all these motherfuckers. They shooting all these 3 pointers. And then you got the NBA now trying to add a 4 pointer to the game. Wow, that's bad for the game. Cause I think that's gonna be bad for the game. Cause you then you gonna really have players be so scared to take it to the rack. Cause there's a lot of players that's why they don't be good in the long run. Because look, they shoot a lot of these threes. They're scared to take it to the rack. They might have 3 point shooting abilities, but they don't have a good all around game. Cause all they think about is shooting threes all day. They don't have the ability to go to the rack and get some points and draw some fouls. They don't have that ability to do that. And that 4 pointer is going to take away from the game. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to take away from the game a lot. Because you make a 4 point play and then somebody foul you, that's going to be 5 points. And then it's bad enough in the NBA as it is because there is no defense for real. There is no real defense. Honest to God, true. There is no defense. None. Not really. Not no real defense. Go back in the day. People be like, oh, LeBron can survive in the 90s and 80s. Yeah, right. He couldn't survive during them days. LeBron won't have the career average he had if he played in the 80s and 90s. Guarantee you that. He won't be averaging no 27 points per game. Absolutely not. Shoot. I don't believe that one for a second, because defenses back in the day was way more tougher. And defenses had more leverage back in the day. Now, the NBA rules changes. They trying to take away hand checking, which leads to NBA teams scoring a lot more points than it did back in the day. Back in the day, an average scoring team used to be scoring like 80 to 90 points. Nowadays, teams scoring like fucking 105 or higher per game. They scoring like 110, 115 per game and shit. Have no defense. Then shit, teams be scoring like 80 points in the first half and shit. Like 70 points, 80 points in the first half. That's absurd. That's really absurd. That's crazy. And scoring that many points used to be a game average, but not anymore because it ain't no defense in the league. And the 4-pointer would make it no better. That just make offenses just. You think Kevin Durant averaging 31 points, 32 points a game already? He'll be averaging like 37 points per game. It'd be worse because it ain't no defense. You know, Kevin Durant he's kind of a rep baiter, in my opinion. Yeah, man, the NBA should never add this 4-pointer to the game. Shoot, players from the 70s and early 80s had a problem with that because they added a 4-pointer to the a 3-pointer to the game. They added a 3-pointer back in the early 80s, like 30 years ago. And it kind of ruined the game a little bit, you know. I mean, the 3-pointer ain't really ruined the game, but if they trying to actually it better the game, but if they add a 4-pointer, it's gonna ruin the game. Trust me. Straight up. If you don't believe me, watch them add that 4-pointer on. Then you're gonna be like, dang, why they add it on? Because that's why it will never be a great player anymore. Not a real great player. Because all these players, all they want to do is shoot 3-pointers. The first thing you learn when you play basketball is take it to the rack. The coaches, the first thing they'll tell you is take it to the basket every time. Much as you can, take it to the basket. And if you got a 3-point, the original plan was if you got an open 3-point shot, then take the shot. But otherwise, drive to the basket. The NBA is getting ruined. You got big men shooting threes. Now you got centers and shit shooting threes. Centers and power forwards shooting threes and shit. Man, no, that's supposed to be led up to the point guards and shooting guards. Not power forwards and centers shooting threes and shit. That's why there ain't no great centers that's why there ain't no real great center in the league. Dwight Howard not an exception. Dwight Howard is not an exception because even though he don't shoot threes, he's not a great center. You ain't got no real center in the league, like no dominant center. That's all I got to say about this 4-pointer stuff, man. They don't need to bring it to the game. Let me know what you think about them bringing a 4-pointer to the game, because I don't agree with it. Subscribe. Tell me in the comment section what you think down below. Alright. Peace out.